Straight ahead on CCX News.
This could be a major game changer for Brooklyn Center.
A real estate deal that would bring significant change to a highly visible area of Brooklyn Center. Plus, a deadline that could uproot hundreds of West Africans living in the northwest suburbs.
By Sunday, if I'm renting a house, if I got 2 kids, everything comes to an end.
And wait till next year. A first for Osseo called off due to an unfavorable forecast. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. A new entertainment venue is coming to Brooklyn Center.
Dallas-based Topgolf plans to build a golf entertainment venue at the site of the Regal Cinema movie theater. As Delane Cleveland reports, city officials are excited for the potential impact it could have on Brooklyn Center.
It is just absolutely great news for Brooklyn Center.
Near the intersection of I-694 and Highway 252 in Brooklyn Center sits the 20-screen Regal Cinema. According to Mayor Tim Wilson, the owners have been looking for someone to buy the theater.
They'd been on the market for 12, 18 months or longer trying to sell that property because they were struggling a bit.
The city had concerns over the prospect of another underutilized property. That is until they were contacted by Dallas-based Topgolf.
One day Topgolf came to us and said, well, if we located in Brooklyn Center, what would it take?
Topgolf is an entertainment venue for the whole family, with 3 levels of hitting bays stacked atop one another.
Amateurs get or just starting out golf, get the experience, of teeing off from a green.
A Topgolf complex also includes a restaurant and event space. Brooklyn Center officials have been in contact with the company for more than a year.
They had hoped to do construction last year to be ready for the Super Bowl, but all the details didn't work out.
Now, Mayor Wilson says everything has fallen into place. The company's board voted to officially approve the expansion to Minnesota Wednesday morning, in large part because they liked the site.
It's everything we've always said about Brooklyn Center. We've got great road systems. We're conveniently located to downtown Minneapolis, downtown St. Paul.
Mayor Wilson says deconstruction of the Regal Theater could begin as early as July. When Topgolf opens, it's expected to bring thousands of visitors to Brooklyn Center.
So in my mind, it's like, yes, we lose an entertainment site with the movies and stuff, but we gain now a great attraction for Brooklyn Center.
A great attraction that is likely to open in the fall of 2018. In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
There's no word yet on when the Regal Theater would close, and when contacted today, the manager of the theater had no information. Topgolf is expected to make a presentation to the Brooklyn Center City Council on Monday.
For the past 20 years, Plymouth has been working to create a city center, Plymouth's version of a downtown. But their version likely will not include a Chick-fil-A restaurant there. As CCX News reported on Tuesday, Chick-fil-A is proposing a restaurant for the former Ruby Tuesdays site. This site at Highway 55 and Vicksburg Lane is considered the gateway to Plymouth. However, a drive-through restaurant is not what the city envisions for that site. About 60% of Chick-fil-A's business is drive-through. City planning staff believes there are other places that Chick-fil-A could go near the site. The Plymouth City Council will discuss this issue at its June 13th meeting. In Maple Grove, a Firehouse subs restaurant at the fountains at Arbor Lakes has abruptly closed. CCX News was there when customers saw this sign on the restaurant door stating that the shop is closed until further notice. A statement from the corporate headquarters in Florida said the franchisee of the Maple Grove location discontinued operations to pursue other interests. The statement also said Firehouse Subs hopes to return to the Maple Grove area, but does not have anything to report at this time.
A May rainfall has caused another cancellation. The first ever Osseo Spring Opener, scheduled for Saturday, featuring food trucks, craft beer, and live music, has been called off because of the forecast. The chance of rain throughout the day Saturday is more than 90%, with the possibility of lightning. The goal is to try again next year. A new jobs report out today shows big job gains in Minnesota. The state added more than 15,000 jobs in April, the most in nearly 4 years. Education and health services led all sectors in new job growth, followed by construction and government. In 3 days, hundreds of Minnesotans could lose the temporary protected status that they were given during the recent Ebola crisis that claimed thousands of lives.
And many of the people impacted are from Liberia, but now live in Brooklyn Park and in Brooklyn Center. Reporter Sonia Goins talked with one man facing the deadline.
I don't really know what to do now.
Jay is an immigrant from Liberia. He's anxiously watching the clock and praying.
We are confused. We in the house, they're worrying every day. We're confused.
We're not revealing his full identity because he's afraid immigration officials might come and pick him up.
My son was born here in 2013 during the Ebola time. And then we got the passport, we're due to go back. We're due to go back to Liberia.
But Jay and his wife decided to wait things out and were given temporary status by the U.S. government.
I want to stay because of my son. I don't want for him to face difficulty in Liberia. Because when we go there, no health care.
The Department of Homeland Security issued about 5,000 TPS documents to people from West African countries hit hard by the Ebola virus. Many of those people live right here in the Northwest Metro.
It was actually close to around 500 people that will lose their status on Sunday.
Abdullah Kiatama is the executive director of African Immigrant Services. He says there should be a transitional legal status that allows for people to stay at least a year. He says sending folks back now will only cause a ripple effect.
There was no job. School closed down. They were dependent on their families that came here to help them survive the broken system. And what are they going back to?
Kiatama also says the move could impact the local economy.
These people here got kids in school, got family, have job. They work in group home, nursing home.
Meanwhile, Jay and his family say they want to stay and continue the life they've made here in Minnesota.
We're paying taxes, we're doing everything, we're paying for our apartment.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
African Immigrant Services says they are still looking at options. Meanwhile, they have several lawyers on hand to assist people impacted by the deadline.
Nurses are often lifesavers, but not usually the way a nurse at Children's Hospital saved a child in Brooklyn Park.
Miss Lee called 911 again and went into the pond to rescue the child. She was able to hold the child above water, which was approximately 4 feet deep.
Brooklyn Park Police honored Ha Lee with a Citizens Award for saving a young boy with autism. Just over a week ago, she saw a barefoot child run in front of her car and was afraid he would be hit, so she decided to follow. Lee called police and eventually followed the child on foot to find that he was struggling in a muddy pond.
So I kept following him, and I didn't realize there was a pond there, and by the time I got down to the end of the pond, he was in the water, underwater. So they knew the police wouldn't get there in time, so I went down into the water and I tried to get him up, but I couldn't get him out of the pond, so the police had to help me get him out of the pond.
The boy was okay. And at the ceremony, more than 24 police officers also received awards for exemplary service, from catching a serial burglar to stopping a computer virus. Still ahead, a standout student with generous global ambitions. You'll meet this Cooper student coming up next.
Plus, a couple of local softball standouts get set to face off in a college regional tournament.
But first, more rain possible on Friday, the best chance in the afternoon.
Cooper High School is looking for a few good Hawks.
They are actively seeking nominations for the school's Hall of Fame. There are 33 people currently in the Hall of Fame. That includes notables such as actor Steve Zahn, NHL player Lance Pitlick, and the first superintendent of the district and the school namesake, E.J. Cooper. But there hasn't been a person inducted since 2012, and the school wants to change that and have inductees each year.
People change, the school is always evolving. We don't want to lose, too much of what are the roots and everything that have been involved in making Cooper a great school.
Nominees can be former students, staff, coaches, or community members who have contributed to Cooper. Nomination forms are available on Cooper High School's website, and they need to be turned in by the end of June. This week's Standout Student has noble plans to build an orphanage and help families someday.
But first, QME Fee High has to graduate from high school and college. Reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to this determined student from Cooper High School.
QMe Fee High only has a few weeks left to walk the halls of Cooper High School. She is a dedicated and incredibly focused student, supported by a family that emphasizes academics.
My mom didn't finish high school because she had to take care of her family at such a young age. And so when she came over here, her main goal was to make sure that all her siblings, all her children got into college, and we were successful.
QMe is on her way. At Cooper, she's one of the few students who is in both the AVID program and the IB diploma program.
I think she's done a lot to make it through the full diploma, and it's our most rigorous academics that we offer here at Cooper. I think she did it on top of some additional challenges.
QMe doesn't shy away from a challenge. She pondered purpose by studying philosophy and literature for her IB focus.
It's so important to understand why we were really here, like our purpose, and to digest that topic as a whole.
Her next goal is college, and she says the AVID program played a big role in helping her get there.
I felt like it was a good support system outside of my family.
You can tell connections mean a lot to QMe. Her involvement in clubs on campus all have to do with helping others. So it's no surprise that she wants to someday have a career helping others too.
I can't wait till she comes back to tell me what she's doing, you know, in college and post-college, because I think that she's going to make her mark on the world, and I'm very excited about that.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
QMe plans to attend St. Catherine's in St. Paul and major in business administration and nonprofit organization. Her end goal is to establish an orphanage and center to help children and their parents. Still ahead, a Brooklyn Park 12-year-old brings a new look to a summer favorite.
But first in sports, Osseo battles Totino-Grace in the opening round of the boys' tennis playoffs. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. It's playoff time in boys tennis, but this week's wet weather isn't making it easy to get matches in. Osseo and Totino-Grace found court time indoors for their Section 5 AA match. Ben Gilbertson serves for Osseo in the #1 singles match. Then his drop shot sets up a nice backhand and angled volley winner. And same match, Grace's Adam Burke serves, and then it's his turn for a soft touch drop shot. Burke wins the match 6-3, 6-2 for the Eagles. The #1 doubles play, Osseo's Charlie Rice-Johnson serves. The deep lob has the Eagles team scrambling here and leaves plenty of open space. He and Cluin angles it in for a point. Same match, James Duzeric serving for the Eagles, and partner Kenneth Wong hammers it home for a point, and the Grace duo wins their match 6-3, 6-2 at 1 doubles. #2 doubles, Osseo's Connor Maloney and Riley Van Horn in the near court. After an exchange, Totino-Grace's Ryan Jordan hits a forehand into the corner for a point. Jordan and Luke Narong win 6-4, 7-5. The second singles, and the Eagles' Elliot Beckert serves and then fires a forehand winner. He beats Jake Tufte in straight sets. Totino-Grace wins 7-0. They're playing Armstrong in the quarterfinals Thursday afternoon. In girls lacrosse, last year's Northwest Suburban Conference champion, Champlin Park, faced a team still hoping to win the conference title this spring, Maple Grove. The Rebels and Crimson meeting at Champlin Park. Champlin Park's Tara Dahlman spins away from the defender and scores here as the Rebels take the lead. Josie Johnson zips to the goal and scores with a low shot as the Rebels build a 4-0 lead. But Maple Grove comes back. Katie Wheeler works her way in and scores up top. And then it's Emily Herdine with a nice pass to Abby Bai, and she finishes tying the score at 5. Lydia Brecht gives Champlin Park the lead back when she scores from the free position. That makes it 6-5. The game, though, was called before halftime due to weather, and it will resume Friday afternoon at 4:30. The regular season ends next week in high school baseball. 2 local teams are in this week's state top 10 rankings in Class 4A. Wayzata holds its spot at number 2, right behind Stillwater. Minnetonka is ranked 3rd. The Skippers will host the Trojans on Friday night. Blaine is ranked 4th, and St. Michael Albertville 5th. One other local team in the top 10, Champlin Park, is number 10. Benilde St. Margaret's is ranked 6th in Class 3A. Couple of big events coming up Friday. The State Adapted Bowling Tournament returns to Brooklyn Park at Brunswick Zone. Competition begins at 9 a.m. for singles, 12:15 for doubles, and 2:45 for teams. And then later Friday, the state Class 3A True Team Track and Field Meet gets underway in Stillwater. The first field events begin at 4 o'clock with running events starting at 5. The Class 1A and 2A True Team meets are on Saturday. The University of St. Thomas and St. Catherine University are just a mile or so apart, and this weekend, one of the two will advance to the Division III Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. The Tommies and the Wildcats are playing each other in the best-of-3 series Friday and Saturday in the Super Regional in St. Paul. And each has an athlete who have played key roles for their team. Ashley Siss, who played fast pitch at Osseo High School, the junior infielder for St. Kate's, and is hitting .288 with 34 RBIs. And St. Thomas senior first baseman and designated hitter Brenna Wallach graduated from Cooper. She's second on the Tommies in batting, hitting .381. We caught up with Wallach earlier today to ask her about the matchup with St. Kate's, a team they are very familiar with.
I think we've played them like 7 times in the last 2 years, so we kind of know what to expect. We've done a lot of scouting on their pitching, and we know that they're a good team. We know that they can bring it. Just kind of like applying what we're working on now, focusing on like what we're expecting to get. I think we have a good scouting report on them. Our coaches talked about seniors kind of getting the mentality where this is my last chance. For me personally, I think that I'm just kind of going with it, you know. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to continue playing.
St. Kate's will be host for the series. The first game is set for 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. That's all for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Up next, the iconic potato guy in Brooklyn Park gets a new look.
We'll show you next.
And finally, summer celebrations aren't that far off, and one Brooklyn Park 12-year-old is getting a head start.
Alexa Hatcher's drawing of Spud McTater will be pasted on hundreds of Tater Daze buttons that will be sold at the festival in June. And Alexa says it was fun to draw the potato guy. Even at 12 years old, she has already won 2 art contests at school. She wins unlimited access to inflatable rides at the festival and will get to ride in the Tater Daze parade, which will be held on June 16th. And here is the button. You saw it there a minute ago. You will get entered. If you buy one of these, you get entered in a drawing that includes a $300 cash prize, and you also get some discounts at Tater Daze. The buttons cost $3 and they are on sale now. Nice drawing. Well done.
Alexa. Absolutely.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Friday, starting at 4 o'clock.